when I was 6 years old, I remember my commercial, the it's a hot dog commercial, and then that commercial, I was dancing, like super dancing, and then that's when I know that I went viral because everywhere I go, when I was 6 years old, people will ask me, do that dance, come on. At that time, no pressure at all because I feel like I was just playing at the time. So I started when I was 6 years old. I started with a commercial. It's a hot dog commercial, and then the gist of the commercial was, um, my mom will cook the hot dogs, and then I will dance. Every time she stopped doing this, I will stop dancing. So somehow it went viral at the time. I was 6 years old. That's why I was able to be with ABS-CBN because they looked for me because at that time, that commercial was a hit. And then my only goal when I was a kid was to go inside the box. That's my only goal. The TV, the television, I thought it was just a box. So that was just my goal. I want to go there. I want to be there. I want to go inside. And then the rest is history. Yeah, yeah, since I was a kid. And I guess that's the difference with me, because with some of the artists that I've worked with when I was a kid, it was their parents who wants them to be in the industry. In my case, I am the one who asked my parents to bring me to the auditions, and then I was the one who want to be an artista. Oh my God, I'm the same. It's just the same. I'm more corny in the so personal, but mentally, wow. Um, this industry is such a difficult job. Um, you have to be 101%. You have to be 101% sure that you really want this job if you enter this industry, because I feel like it seems like it's all the limelight, it's all the glamour and all, but there's deeper like deeper issues or deeper scenarios in this industry that you really have to be strong. And I feel like um with the actors who really want to be an artista or want to be an artist right now, um it's just performing for them, it's just acting, it's just singing for them, it's just posting on social media, but it's more than that. Being a personality is such a big responsibility for me. I realized that when one time, um after my operation, with my health operation, there's this one mom who approached me and told me, because of you, you gave me a second life. She told me, you gave me a second life because she's been afraid of going to the doctors for checkups and all. But after she heard what happened to me, she got the uh, there's a successful patient for that case, and that's me. So that's what I realized, that this job is something that you really have to take seriously, and you really have to be responsible, because whatever word comes into your mouth, it's going to be everywhere. So you have to be responsible all the time. Not famous, famous, because I won't say that I'm famous, famous. I feel like even though I started when I was 6 years old, I feel like I have so much more to discover in this industry. I have so much more to discover in my life. But when I was 6 years old, I remember my commercial, the it's a hot dog commercial, and then that commercial, I was dancing, like super dancing, and then that's when I know that I went viral because everywhere I go, when I was 6 years old, people will ask me, do that dance, come on. So every time they're asking me to do that specific dance, what I did sa commercial, I feel like I made it. They know me. So ever since I was a kid, that's why it's fun. Yes, it's fun, but at the same time scary because you I grew up in front of their eyes. I started when I was 6 years old, so they saw me growing up. That's why I feel like I owe them what I have right now, everyone. So I have to be responsible and I have to maintain that person, that personality, that Miles that they loved since I was a child. What's the memorable project for me? I guess that project that ended today, my first solo show ended today, Pajak Princess. It's a morning show that tackles the simple life of a community. And then in that community, my character is like the princess. It's called Pajak Princess. Pajak is like the bike. Yeah, so I'm the Pajak Princess in our community. That's the title of our show. So that's the memorable one for me because first, it just ended today. Second, it's the first time that I was able to have a project that is the title of the show was named after my role. So it was a big responsibility. It was uh, uh, so much pressure at the time before we started our show because I'm used to being the best friend of the lead. I'm used to being the sister of the lead. I'm not used to being the lead. So there's this pressure na will I pull this off? Will I give the audience what they want? But thankfully, I'm so grateful that it's a morning show. It's airing before Eat Bulaga. So all the viewers of our noontime show supports me all the way. And we were able to maintain the high ratings of the show. We ended it with the high ratings, and I was so happy because this is the first project I closed. I was extremely happy with the outcome. Miles more to go, but we're so far from what uh, we have been doing before, and that's the exciting part in this industry right now, in this game show business, because you're open to collaborate with all the people, the international opportunities are now open for all the artists, and there's no more network wars. Me, like I can go to any networks, like I don't have a specific network as of the moment. So I feel like we're not yet there in our destinations. Like we have so much to improve on, but we're getting there. Like we're getting there. I'm excited because I feel so much passion, so much excitement, and so much. Um, there's new people like the young ones, the young filmmakers, especially the baguettes ones, the teens. Um, it's exciting. It's exciting how they envision the uh, film industry, our industry right now. So I'm excited for the progress that's going to happen for the next few years. So much to discover some more, and there's so much to learn. And me, aside from acting, I was able to do a script writing workshop, so off cam. So yes, I can see myself still working in the industry for till I'm old, but I don't think being on cam will be my only go-to job in this industry. So I'm also interested with the off cam, with the behind the cameras. Producing is a different level of dedication because there's so much going on with the producers thing. It's not just you give money and then you have a film. No, it's not like that. But for me, the producing side, I'm interested, but one thing that I'm sure of is I really want to write my own screenplay someday. Um, First of all, I just want to share what happened to me. I had this guessing. If you search about it, it's Batang Quiapo. I have this scene that went viral. I gave birth in a marketplace, and at the time, since I was trending, offers has been left and right. But at the time, I was not comfortable breathing anymore. I felt like dizzy all the time. I feel like I will faint all the time. I feel like someone's grabbing my throat and then doing this to me. I'm really not physically okay. So at the time, after that viral scene, the offers were left and right, but we had to stop everything again. We had to pause everything again because I have to go the operation. It was like everything was so fast. Like after the ultrasound, they asked me to do the biopsy. After the biopsy, they were already asking me for a schedule to do the operation. At the time, I was not aware that it was so serious. I was not aware that it was cancer. They're not telling me the word cancer because they know how scared I am with hospitals and all. Even with our shoots, if the location is hospital, I'm not comfortable at all. So I knew about it. I knew that it was cancer after the operation. So everything went fast. I feel like, but after the operation, I feel like I'm a new person. I feel like since everything happened so fast, I've been absorbing what's the lesson of this. I've been absorbing what's God's message for me, why I went through this, why this age, why this young. I have so many questions. Then I realized, and then I went through depression, but at the time because my cancer, my thyroid case affected my weight. And in our industry, you have to look presentable all the time. You have to look sexy. You have to look fit for you to fit in this industry. And I've been reading comments that I look like a mom already. Um, was I able to like eat and eat? Like I was depressed at the time. I really don't want to go out. So after the operation, I asked myself, are you ready for this? Like, are you ready to face every comments like that? And then one day I just woke up. I don't want to be affected at all. Like with the help, of course, of the people around me, especially my partner. I just woke up and I don't want to care anymore. I feel like why do I care so much about my weight? Why do I pressure myself so much with something I really can't control? Because my weight with my case, with my sick with my health condition, it's something that you can't control, and you're going to look fat, look thin, look fat, look thin. So it's going to be a seesaw for me. So I just accepted the fact that it's going to be my situation for the rest of my life. And if I will um if I will stop myself from being happy, stop myself from going out, stop myself from exploring and enjoying the things that I really enjoy, nothing will happen. So I just woke up one day. I told myself I don't want to care about my weight. I will just love myself and accept myself because no one will do that for me except myself. So after that operation, I just started embracing it. I stopped covering it because at some point, I guess first 2 to 3 months of the operation, I'm hiding my scar because I'm so insecure about it. And then after a while, I don't care anymore. Here's what happened to me. Um, I don't need to worry about your opinion. What's important is I'm healthy. I am okay. And after that, I'm just chill with everything. I feel like I did something right. I'm proud of myself. Like Wow, for someone like me who's so afraid of going to the doctors, going to the hospitals, I am inspiring some people by just showing up, by just embracing what happened, by just sharing my experience. I've been inspiring some people. So since then, I told myself, I have this purpose. I have this power to influence other people. So I have to take care of it, and I have to be responsible. Oh, yes, all the time. They feel like they own your life. They feel like they can control you since you're an open book, since they know almost everything about you, your personal life, your family life, your love life. I feel like they have this privilege to comment on your personal life. And it's something that I just accepted. It's something that, yeah, that's true. They will talk about my life. They will decide for me. But at the end of the day, you just have to know yourself. You just have to know your beliefs, your values, and no need to be affected at all. Right now, thank you, Lord. I am at a stable mental space for me not to be affected with the bashers. Because it's not like that all the time. But there's this one comment that will trigger you all the time, but you really have to decide if are you going to believe him or her or trust yourself. So you just trust yourself. Oh wow. Eat Bulaga has been my unexpected blessing, as in my unexpected blessing. I was supposed to be a guest host for a week only, and it's my second year now. And hosting a noontime show with that kind of like history and longevity, um they are the kings of the noontime show. Never in my wildest dreams, never. I didn't even wish for it to be part of a noontime show because I feel like it's so impossible to happen. Never in my wildest dream that I was able to imagine hosting a noontime show. It was life changing for me. Like, yes, people know me from my previous works, but since Eat Bulaga, uh, everybody knows my name. Everywhere I go now, you don't have a knock knock with you right now? They always ask me, and I feel wow. I still can't believe the audience of the noontime show because until now there are moments that I'm surprised that wow they know me like wow, the reach of the noontime show is different kasi when you're just acting. So this has been my greatest and unexpected blessing, and I feel like I want to do this till I don't know. You're always excited to go to work. It feels like family here. When I started doing my teleserye, The Pajak Princess, full support. They even gave me one show to dedicate to me to promote the show that I'm going um to do. I have so much respect with the people in the show, and hearing the stories of our contestants, hearing the stories of the people around the show, I feel blessed that I am part of the show that can help people, that as cliche as this may sound, that can inspire people, that can make people smile. Such a big deal for me. Feels so good to go home every day after our live show to think that you were able to make someone happy. Oh wow, give your best 101% all the time. Because you'll never know who's watching. You'll never know if this is your last chance. You'll never know who's um you'll never know what's next for you. You'll never know if after this will I able to have another chance, another shot. You have to give your all, give your 101%, as if this is your last step all the time. Because if you put your 101% in everything that you do, everything will follow, every goodness will follow. The goodness you will attract the goodness, you will attract the positivity. You just have to give your all. You love your job, you love the people around you, and then you will feel the love that they will give it back to you. And life in general, I really believe that everything happens for a reason. As cliche as may sound, I heard about it when I was a kid, and I've been using it since I was a kid. But growing up, uh, while growing up, the meaning of it becomes like stronger for me. Because even everything happens for a reason. Even if you're not happy with the result, or even if you're not happy with the situation you're in right now, it's exciting because what's next? What's the lesson of this one? What do you want me to learn from this experience? What do you want me to learn from this pain? Every pain has a meaning. Every pain has this redirection to something beautiful. I always believe in that. Not just with the career, not just with love life, not just with family, everything with friendship, with how you treat other people. Goodness will come to you. Goodness will come to you. Every pain, every time you're crying, every time I cry now, I'm excited. What's next?